Alright, folks, this is the Ace Charming. I'm bringing you a yet another uh, TV show. This show is one of my new favorites. I've only seen one episode. It is Hell on Wheels. I decided to choose this as a background because I thought this sign was amazing. Basically, just says population one less every day. It is set in the 1860s and it centers on a former Confederate soldier whose quest for vengeance has led him to the Union Pacific Railroad's western construction of the first transcontinental railroad. Tagline is Blood will be spilled, lives will be lost, men will be ruined. This show is awesome. As a fan of older type movies or movies set back in the day and to see how they are kind of utilized. This does a really good job. There's a couple stories. There's the main character who's trying to go for vengeance. There is the Union Pacific Railroad representative guy who's trying to make a bunch of money getting subsidies from the government to build the railroad. You also have the surveyors who go ahead of the railroad, having problems with like the Indians and stuff. So it's just a very good, very well done show. It is on AMC. It is on Sundays right after The Walking Dead. This is a show that if you are not familiar with or you haven't done any history, it actually does a really good job of meshing that. There's a talk about seeing the elephants, which, if you read older texts, that's what they used to call it. The elephant was a euphemism for, seeing war and how you're going to deal with it. Were you going to run away, or were you going to face it head on? There's a couple twists and turns throughout this, which bring it good. You have the main character is pretty cool. The one guy that I do recognize, I recognize a couple of them, but you have Common, who's one of like the head type slaves, and even though they've been freed, it still doesn't seem that way. At least not when you're outside of civilization. So have him. The main guy has been in a couple other shows. The main evil guy who's building the railroads. He's been in a lot of shows. He's been in like Stargate Atlantis. He's been in Star Trek. I can't remember if it was SG-1 or Deep Space Nine, but he was in it. You have Buffalo Bill, or in Monk the captain, uh, and he plays the guy who's head at the railroad as of right now. That's kind of an interesting take to it. Um, so yeah, it's just a very interesting, very well done show. I have to say that after watching it, uh, I am I'm loving it. I also saw, if you see the previews for the rest of the season, I really like it because it looks like it really starts to pick up. The first episode was slightly slow, but definitely had some good build up. But they introduced a couple characters into it, which I really like. One of them being uh, the if you guys ever watch Sanctuary, or um, he's Druid, and I do like Sanctuary, so I do see him in it, and I have some thoughts about that after the second episode I will talk a little bit more about, because I don't want to give away anything for you guys who haven't done it. This is going to be kind of a spoiler free type one. My further ones probably will not be. They'll probably be more of my reactions. The fun thing that I saw, or the greatest thing about this, was the dialogue. There's one monologue at the very end that I really, really liked. Definitely watch it a couple times, unless you understand it the first time. But you really have to. I had to watch it twice in order to really understand it. But the main guy talks about lions and zebras, and the uh, how the lion has to do all this crap basically, and we are basically all, and the lions are a euphemism for the rich people, and the zebras are the working class. And he says that everyone hates the lions because the zebras write stories about the zebras. They don't write it about the lions, which I found very interesting. Different. I don't agree with it, but it's a very interesting, different take on the whole situation. But this is Hell on Wheels. I encourage all you guys to watch it. Probably aside from The Walking Dead, this is probably Walking Dead, Dexter, and this show are probably my three favorite shows right now. Dexter and this show are probably my favorite over The Walking Dead because The Walking Dead has slowed down slightly. Um, but yeah, definitely check it out. It is on AMC TV.com. You can also see it over at Ice Films. So I will see you guys later. This has been the Ace Charming. Over and out.